Okay, so I don't even know what this video is going to be about. I guess you could say it's kind of a rant. Um, I just felt like doing a rant video. Hold on one second. Yeah, I don't even really have a necessary topic for this video, and I know I kind of always say that, but it's true. I don't really have anything. I have so much that kind of just floats around in my head sometimes, and that's why nowadays I really don't have a topic, and I hate limiting myself to just one topic. It's kind of like saying like, what do you want to do? Um, like, what do you want your career to be? What do you want your craft to be? And it's just like I don't fucking know. You know, this is kind of like why I hate when people. I won't say I hate. Hate is such a strong word, at least in that context. But I kind of get triggered or annoyed when I hear people say things like you got to find a craft or a career choice or path. And it's like, why do you have to find a thing and make that thing your thing? Why can't you just do whatever you want whenever you want to do it, or just try whatever you want to try because it's just something you want to do? Why do people say you need to find a craft? Because it's like it to me. I mean, and if you find something that, or if you find a craft or something that you tried and you just like to continue to do that thing over and over again, then wonderful, great, amazing. But I just hate this, narrative that everybody, has a thing that they were made to do. I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like you can just kind of just do whatever you want to do whenever you feel like doing it, and then just move on to trying different things. I don't feel like you have to specialize in anything. You can if you enjoy it, but I feel like you don't have to. Like, for example, like, I'm into skateboard now. I'm not good at all because I really haven't had the time to dedicate to it the way that I want to. But I enjoy doing it. Now, hopefully, here soon, my schedule will change, and I'll, will hopefully. I don't even want to say hopefully. After I gain more income, I will have the time to dedicate towards, skateboarding and really. I'm gonna probably end up getting some lessons probably soon after I don't have to work full time. I'm gonna invest in lessons and probably join some kind of skate school or something like that. And I also want to get back into martial arts because I used to do that. I really enjoyed it. It kept me in really great shape. So I want to get back into that boxing, jujitsu, and jeet kune do, all that kind of shit. I love all that. It's great for your confidence, and you know, gaining combat skills and the ability to defend yourself is very important in my opinion because niggas out here is crazy. So I'm very very huge advocate of any kind of martial arts or self defense. Um, so yeah, so after I get my money up the way I want to, and right now I'm basically just trying to focus all my assets or resources in a get my mobile home to be able to travel more easily. But after I get all that squared away, yeah, I plan on wherever I travel to, finding a good skate park, skate school or something, and a good gym, while I'm there in that area. So I'm excited. I can't wait to start traveling and visiting different areas and states and working in different areas. Like that's the whole point for me. Um, so yeah, um, Yeah, it's not what the video is about. Like I said, it's just a rant. Um, like I said, I have so many different things that I'll be thinking about, you know. But one thing I realized though, just by living life, observing, and just I go into my own psyche a lot. I observe people, I observe myself, and I think a lot, you know. And I look at things on a personal scale, meaning myself, my own mind, my own perception. Then I kind of zoom out and kind of think about how other people are doing the same thing that I'm doing in their own way, based on their perception, based on their experience. Then I kind of zoom outside of that perspective and then kind of think about all of that going on while taking myself out of it and seeing how it's all just kind of happening, you know, unto itself. And there's just so many factors, so many different scenarios and factors and different levels of ways to look at that whole happening. One thing I realize is that I don't think there ever truly is or was peace on a grand scale. Like, what is peace? I forget which movie it was, but someone said that peace is an illusion. Um, and I believe that. I do believe that. I don't believe that peace was ever really existed, because I do believe that the universe is chaos. The universe is definitely chaos. For so many different reasons. One person's heaven is another person's hell. There's also the saying that, everybody's the bad guy in somebody's story. You know, for example, like the reason that your parents got together could very well be because your mother or your father cheated on their spouse unbeknownst to you, and here you are. Or, left a good person, did some sneaky underhanded rat shit, and then got together. You know, I'm just saying that's just one example. Um, so we only know things based off of, what we know. And like I said, I feel like the universe is chaos. You know what's right and what's wrong, what's evil, what's not evil. It's all what's the word? It is all subjective. It's all subjective. And this is one thing that I'm learning more and more, you know, as I, you know, go forward in my life, in my evolution, my experience. The more awareness or wisdom that I gain, the more I become aware that, everybody has their own narrative. Everybody is creating their own narrative. And based on their narrative of their perception, you know, how they see things is completely subjective to, their narrative. The majority of the world, or the majority of our worlds, are subjective. It's not objective. Most people are not objective. It's, well, I see it this way, so this is how it is. I'm like that too. So I'm not calling nobody out, but I'm just realizing and seeing things. I'm seeing reality as it really is. And that's why I understand that more than likely I'm never going to be understood. I'm never going to be, there's going to be some people that I'm just never going to get along with. That people are going to just, you know, there's some people that's going to always hate you, always have a problem with you, always feel like, you're something is off with you or something. It don't matter what you do or say. I've accepted that, you know, um, and I'm good with it, you know. I no longer care about if people perceive me as good, bad, negative, positive, light, dark, um, jealous, angry, because I can be all those things. I can be. If I'm being real, I can be all those things at some time, as we all can be. We all have been angry. We all have been jealous. We all have been hateful. We all have been all those things. Just like we've all been kind and nice and generous and loving and, empathic, so I feel like there's a quantum version of all of us that embodies each and every one of those frequencies. And depending on how people treat us, it's that quantum version of us that they're gonna they're gonna experience. Or I even believe that certain people or people can I think a lot about this kind of stuff. You know, I feel like this. I feel like our perception is so powerful and so strong. Our perception, our lens, our narrative, our inner narrative is extremely powerful. I do believe this, even though I'm kind of like not getting into the spiritual stuff so deeply lately. I do believe that narrative shapes our perception and our experience. If I'm okay, so for example, what am I talking about? If I'm a person, let's say I'm a person that thinks that everybody hates me and everybody is jealous of me and everybody has something against me. Um, and I direct that narrative at somebody or some person or group of people. Let's say if I'm a person that I just see myself as the most handsome guy in all of the state, and I feel like everybody that's not handsome or that's ugly, they have a personal vendetta with me because I'm just so good looking, okay? Damn, I'm the finest nigga, man. I got all the bitches. I'm getting all these hoes. I'm getting this pussy. They just jealous of me. They hating on me. And I create this narrative in my mind. I believe that when people do that, they actually create entities in their subjective reality. And then they project that into their personal reality. And especially if you're projecting that narrative onto certain people or certain individuals, you're going to get that version or you're going to get that reality. And this is what I feel like people that know about this, how I don't understand how they don't get it, And I can see how it's easy to do because once an idea is in your mind, it's like that movie Inception. Once you have an idea and plants it in your mind, it becomes real. It becomes a reality unto itself, right? It takes life. It is a reality. So that reality is real once you believe it into being. So you're going to live that. Listen, I do it too. I do it without meaning to. And I feel like it can be in a good or bad way. But I feel like people do this and I don't get it because it's like I know they know about it, but it's just like it's such a powerful thing. I think we all do it, but it's so subtle too. It's kind of hard not to do it because once you start living that reality, it's very hard to undo something that you're living because you're living it. I get it. This is why I can't really judge it because reality is life. You're living that experience. And if you're living that experience and you're experiencing things, then who am I to say you shouldn't feel how you feel and you shouldn't be angry about things you're experiencing? Because I get angry when things happen to me. So I get it. But at the same time, too, I'm able to at times kind of zoom out and say, wait a minute. Okay, I understand kind of what's going on, but then within the experience when shit's happening, it's like you about to piss me off still. And so when people piss you off within the experience, I feel like there's certain energies that basically manifest. It's like, so because you believe this is happening and you believe that, if I believe that people are jealous of me and have something against me, there's going to be that energy quantumly is going to be entangled through all the beings in my space. So all the niggas around me is going to have some beef with me, like for no reason, because that idea was implanted into your mind, whether you did it or whether somebody else did it. That is a real reality. I do believe that shit does happen because reality is always, you know what I'm saying? Like Alan Watts said, reality is, it's now. There really is no then, now, then. It's all now. It's all, space and time just is. So, when I hear people say stuff like, this is why whenever people, I'm really careful now. This is why whenever people say things to me or about me, I used to get angry. I used to get mad. I used to get sad and feel just like shit. But now, instead of getting mad, I'm like, I step back, I zoom back out and say, well, who is saying this about me? Why are they saying it about me? And then I say, okay, this person is saying this thing about me. Oh, I think you're jealous. I think you're a hater. I think you're this. And I'm like, well, I don't think that. I don't know what I did to make you think that. But while you project that onto me, I'm going to step back quantumly and observe you doing it and simultaneously be completely quantumly disconnected from that projection that you're projecting onto me. Now, that version of me still exists quantumly. There's a version of me that's going to receive that hate and that projection and that transmission of, you're an angry, mean, hater, jealous, bitch ass nigga. That version exists and it's very aware of what is being said about it, and all the negative emotions are being received in that quantum version of me, right? So there's a version of me or you that's getting all the hate and projections of people saying shit about you. I just disconnect myself from that quantum version. I say, I understand you're saying that and giving me that hate. And while that version of me is very real and does exist, I'm not connected to it. That version, I'm not claiming that version of what you're saying that I am. So, you can say that about me. You can claim that I'm that. I have no parts of that version. I decide that's not who I am. And while you keep declaring that version of me is definitely out there and will probably definitely say, yes, I am that. And yes, I will be that. While simultaneously, another version of me is saying, no, I'm not that. No, I'm not ugly. No, I am lovable. I do deserve love. I am perfect. I am whatever. All the amazing things about myself that you know I know I am, and I'm not just talking it. I'm actually living it. I'm not asking for people to tell me. I'm proving it to myself by moving past that version you projected onto me. In other words, physically, I'm physically embodying a completely different quantum version than what you're saying that I am, you know? But that version is very real, and I do believe that motherfucker can do a lot of fucking damage. I just consciously don't identify with it. Subconsciously, completely different story. All I can do is consciously move through my life and, embody an alternate version than that version that people are trying to project onto me. I don't know if this is really making sense to y'all, but it makes sense to me. So, I mean, I just came to the conclusion that there will always be, wars because there are all, it's kind of like the concept of um Antum I said Antum Ant-Man and what's his name? I forget his name. I forget his name. He Who Remains. I keep forgetting his name. The guy with the guy that's played by what's his name? The boxer dude. I forget his name. Look it out. I forget his name. But it's like that. There's these different timelines, right? And there's different quantum versions of us that occupy these different worlds. And, for certain worlds to exist, other worlds have to die and vice versa. And so I feel like sometimes there's battles and wars over timelines because I don't know why or how, but certain timelines happen to conflict for whatever reason. And it's almost like for me to live the reality that I want, yours has to die. And I don't feel like some people with different versions of us can collaborate or can come to any kind of agreement because I'm not agreeing to live into a timeline or reality that doesn't benefit or serve me, especially if I deserve it and I earned it and I'm doing the work for it. I've worked too hard to just, be pulled into someone's timeline that says, you're not good enough. You're not, anything like that. And so there's conflict for whatever reason, timelines conflict. And again, it's like another movie on Netflix, there's like these alternate worlds that exist side by side. And these people were basically kind of somehow coming into their each other's reality. And basically you had two alternate versions of people from different universes interacting and coming into each other's spaces. And so when that happened, it's almost like the alternate version of that same person had to take the other person out because it's like, nah, bro, like this is my timeline, like this is my space. You don't get to stay here. Like this is my domain. Like you're not taking over my world. You're not taking over my timeline, And I don't know. It sounds kind of weird. Like you're trying to say like you're God or something. Like which we are. We are all God. And it's kind of hard to, I guess, interpret this part of my my thought process, but I just feel like there's a clash between worlds sometimes because again, I feel like there's like this point where if your world to fully manifest, somebody else's has to die. Or, for my world to materialize, your world has to dematerialize. It's almost like, my world is somehow stopping your world from being what you want it to be. Why? I don't know. But I feel like that. Like when someone actually fully awakens, like you're basically collapsing their heaven by just simply by becoming more aware and awakening. There's a conflict because for their heaven to be like, it has to be in your unconscious state. And when you say, well, wait a minute, I actually don't agree with this reality as it is, and I actually have a problem with the way things are and the way things have been going, all of a sudden that somehow collapses your heaven by me just simply saying, well, wait a minute. No, let's actually like reduce some of this shit. Because I don't agree with this. I don't agree how this thing's been going. And I don't think it's fair. It's like, oh shit, like that actually causes a problem with your reality. Because normally in your reality, I just go along with the shit. But when you actually awaken and say, I got a problem with some of this shit, I don't think that's right. I don't think the way this is being done is right. There's a problem, you know, because before you were just an unconscious being, unconsciously just going along with shit. And that was a timeline. When a being wakes up, it's like that shit just, it destroys everything because you're not supposed to go against anything. You're supposed to just go along with the shit the way it is. This is how it's always been. It's a fucking loop. That's why I say like one person's heaven is another person's hell. It's a pyramid. And once you say, nah, it ain't, I'm not going for it, then it causes shit to collapse, right? But anyway, I'm gonna have to end this video because I don't know how much memory I have on my phone. So before it ends and cuts off, I'm gonna end it here. I'll probably make a part 2 to this video. But for now, I will talk to y'all later and later.